During autumn, our little hedgehog friends start to get ready to go in for their long sleep as they hibernate in the garden. So if you've got hedgehogs nearby, or you know the hedgehogs are in the neighbourhood, you can give them a little helping hand, because what they do is they need to take on enough energy to last them through the long winter sleep. And an average hedgehog weighs probably about 450 grams, but it's got to put on enough weight, probably 600 to 700 grams, to make sure there's enough energy inside its body to last through the winter months. And then it goes into real deep sleep, and its heartbeat goes from 190 beats a minute down to just 20. But there are things that you can do to help these hedgehogs get through that winter. But before I begin, it would be great, please, if you could give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. And also subscribe to my channel for loads of other great videos. Now, feeding hedgehogs, or making sure there's a regular supply of food, is incredibly important. And naturally, they'll go out and they'll be eating beetles, they'll be eating earwigs and a whole host of other natural foods that they can find, but you can buy them, and there's lots of different foods available. In fact, if you go to my shop on the website, I've listed lots of different hedgehog foods, or you can just use cat food effectively. You know, this one here, it's best to use white meat if you're using cat food. Chicken or turkey, don't buy the ones with gravy because it can be a bit salty, dehydrate them, but this one in jelly is particularly good. And you just put it in a bowl out for them for the night. And also water. You need to have fresh water for little hedgehogs as well. But you might say to me, hold on David, next door's cat, it's going to be over in a heartbeat eating that food. So here's a really good tip. Get hold of one of these storage containers and cut a section out at the front, big enough for the hedgehogs to get through, bigger than a side plate really, and then put it over where the food is, and then put a brick just in front really, so there's enough gap for the hedgehog to go in and have the food. But cats don't like to chicane, they don't like the narrow bits to get in, so it keeps it cat free, and it's available just for your hedgehogs that go in and have a drink and have a bit of food at the same time. Don't forget to regularly clean them out as well, so making sure that they're not eating out of dirty plates and the like, and only put enough food for the hedgehogs to eat that night. That way you don't get lots of food hanging around. There are other safety things to think of. If you've got any garden bonfires, always check to see if there's little hedgehogs in there. If you can leave the fires as a little home for them, that's even better. But if you have to burn it and you've checked, light it by the edge first to give the hedgehogs a fighting chance to get out. But producing and creating natural habitats is also good, and I'll cover that in a minute. But there's a couple more warning things that could just go a long way to helping hedgehogs. For a start off, they do move about a bit. You need to cut a little hole, speak to your neighbours, between your neighbour's fence and theirs, so hedgehogs can go in and out. That's one of the magic of it. In fact, in many cases, because we've been so tidy in our gardens with walls and fences and garages and the like, little hedgehogs can't move around so freely. So cutting a little entranceway really helps them get round different gardens. And also, if you've got a pond, please put a little ladder in, because hedgehogs can swim, and if they go out, certainly during hibernation, if it's been a bit mild and they get out and they're a bit thirsty, they go to the pond and fall in, and they just swim around and they can't get out, they get exhausted and drown. But if you put like a little, I put some little bamboo canes in here to make little like ladder runs to help them get out. So it's just a natural way that hedgehogs can get out if ponds are there. Now, habitats are very important, and there's lots of different ones. And look at this one here. Whoa, this is a top executive condominium for little hedgehogs there. Look at that, marvellous. Or you can buy them as well that look a little bit more basic, just enough to tuck underneath a hedge in your garden so little hedgehogs can come in. You'll notice there is a sort of like a little entrance way there. That's really to stop the cats or even the foxes putting a paw in to try and grab the little hoglets that are inside. You can make your own. Very, very easy to make your own. Probably the best thing to do is make friends with the local wine merchants and collect some of the boxes that they've got that they pack the wine up. It's best to put another little entrance in there. You can just make one like this. I'll show you one that I made earlier. This is a big one here. This is a big one that I put in. I just used an old crate by the side. So you've got an entrance there and the hedgehog can get in. Make sure that it is watertight at the top so they don't get damp. But if you haven't got that, simply just get hold of some logs and stack them round the back of the garage. You know, sort of like, you know, position them so there's gaps in between. And the hedgehogs will go in and make their own little area. So you should have as much wildlife space as you can. Be a bit more scruffy in the garden. It doesn't have to be about hard work. It's about creating the right habitats and environments for the creatures that live in there, live with you in your own garden. So behind the garage, the shed, or underneath some of the shrubs, leave a bit more natural things for wildlife to live. Now, hedgehogs are marvellous little creatures and they really need our help. And in autumn, as they start to build themselves up, making sure there's plenty of food there. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more great content like this. And remember to switch on the notifications to be notified of my latest videos, and take some time to enjoy the hedgehogs that visit your garden.